Good morning, ma'am. I'm Andrew Malinaw from Group 2. So, I'm here, ma'am, to tackle about Filipino cultural values. So, what is Filipino cultural values? It is a sense of national identity and pride emerged out of struggles for Philippine independence. However, loyalties remain foremost with one's family and place of birth. Key values such fellowship, respect, and acceptance are found throughout the culture, with many Filipinos displaying a warming and hospitable demeanor. So the second one is the basic, it is the subtopic of about Filipino core values. So what are the basic concept of values? So values are individual beliefs that motivate people to act one way or another. So kaning values ko no, kuha na siya kanang sa tagsa ka tinuhuan nga mag-motivate sa tao to act one way or another. So they serve as a guide for human behavior. So nag-serve ni siya as a guide sa human behavior. Generally, people are predisposed to adopt the values that they are raised with. People also tend to believe that those values are right because they are the values of their particular culture. Ethical decision making often involves weighing values against each other and choosing which values to elevate. Conflicts can result when people have different values, leading to a clash of preferences and priorities. Some values have intrinsic worth, such as love, truth, and freedom. So, ang uban values ko no, na mga intrinsic worth sa example, love, truth, ug freedom. Love, gugma, truth, kanang katotohanan, ug freedom, kalayaan. So, other values such as ambition, responsibility, and courage describe traits or behaviors that are instrumental as means to an end. Still, other values are considered sacred and are moral imperatives for those who believe in them. Sacred values will seldom be compromised because they are perceived as duties rather than as factors to be weighed in decision making. So, ang uban values mo-consider nga sacred and moral imperatives for those who believe in them. So, mana sacred values with wisdom, compromise, balik ka na ho. They are perceived as duties rather than as factors to be weighed in decision making. So, decision making. Importante dyan ang decision making. Kay diha ni mo kuan sound like na kay plan nga na. So, importante dyan ang decision making. So, for example, for some people, their nation's flag may represent a sacred value. So, pareha sa bisag Pilipinas, example Pilipinas or sa laing nation, importante jud ang kuan, ang flag, ang national flag nato kay mo na nagkuan represent sa atong country nga diha ang mga Pinoy mo dyan ay girespeto nila ang flag ug nasay secret nga value na worth girespeto ang flag kay diha ta nagsilbing atong kalayaan, di ba? Pag Independence Day, kalayaan na to gikuan ang flag giwagayway nga nasa kuan asa to dapit, kalimot ko. So mo to siya na-value ang atong national flag. Pero sa kuan, but for others, the flag may just be a piece of cloth. Pero sa uban, ang para nila ang flag kanang mura nag kanang piece of cloth ra, tela ra nga na. Pero sa tua, ang flag nato kita mga Pinoy sa atong culture, atong kultura, ato nang girespeto. Girespeto na to ng flag, kaya na siya sacred value. Kaya mo na nagrepresent sa silbing malaya na ang Pilipinas katong pag Independence Day nga ang trohon usbonaho nga giwagayway ni Emilio Aguinaldo. So mo to siya guys, mo to siya ma'am. So whether values are sacred, have intrinsic worth, or are a means to an end, values vary among individuals and across cultures and time. However, values are universally recognized as a driving force in ethical decision making. So mo to siya preganiya. Recognize ang values kuno universally recognized as a driving force in ethical decision making. So mo to guys, so the next na pod ang mo report my group mates. So na pong ipasa niya ang isang kuan. So mo to, thank you.
Good day, everyone, and especially to Ma'am Michelle Sola. By the way, I am J. Mark B. Kahukom, BS in Criminology, 4th year Bravo. I am the first reporter, and the topic for today's discussion is all about Filipino values. Values are integral part of every culture with worldview and personality. They generate behavior. Being part of a culture that shares a common core set of values creates expectations and predictability without which a culture would disintegrate and its member would lose their personal identity and sense of worth. Values tell people what is good, beneficial, important, useful, beautiful, desirable, constructive, etc. They answer the questions of why people do what they do. Values help people solve common problems for survival. Over time, they become the roots of traditions that groups of people find important in their day-to-day lives. Filipino values may be attribute into many influences. This can be from its ancestors or influence through its colonizers. Some values are bipolar, meaning it can be positive or negative. Filipino values are social constructs with Filipino culture which define that which is socially considered to be desirable. The Filipino value system describes the commonly shared and traditionally established system of values underlying Filipino behavior within the context or of the larger Filipino cultural system. Why is Filipino values important? Having these Filipino values will make one's life become more disciplined and be concerned with what is morally good and bad and also right or wrong. So we have the first Filipino values, which is Bayanihan system. Filipino community spirit and cooperation wherein a group of individuals extends a helping hand without expecting any remuneration. It is characterized by communal work towards one goal exemplified in carrying a nipa house or pushing a passenger jeepney. In the Philippines, the Bayanihan spirit is one of communal unity, helping others without expecting rewards to achieve a certain goal. In earlier days, when houses were made of lighter materials, such as coconut leaves, bayanihan also meant helping one's neighbors move. their house. So, common kayo ang bayanihan is because no ang mga Pilipino kung naay nagkinahanglan no magtinabangay gyud, so mo ni matawag na to og bayanihan. So ang bayanihan dili ni siya uh, one person, but no is a group of Filipino sa grupo Pilipino nga sama sa no na magdayong no di gyud makaya og isa ra kundi nakinahanglan og daghan. So the more nga daghan ang mutabang, no, dali ra kayo mahimo ang usa ka butang. Then second, we have damayan system. Damayan system, sympathy for people who lost their loved ones. In case of death of a certain member of the community, the whole community sympathizes with the bereaved family, neighbors, friends, and relatives of the deceased usually give certain amount of money as their way of showing sympathy. Damayan, a word that means to give sympathetic support and to extend or express sympathy. Ihaya the importance of giving our kaibigans, our friends, and kababayans, fellow Filipinos, our guidance and aid they need. During times like this, showing damayan is more important than ever. So, mo ni value sa usa ka Pilipino nga naagyoy damayan. So, ang usa ka person kung magkinahanglan siya, at least naay mutabang niya. So bisan og makahatag ta og kwarta or something maka sympathy ta sa usa ka tawo. Then third, we have familism or close family relations. A Filipino trait of giving highest importance to family above other thing. A trait wherein family members should be taken care and supported regardless of whether he or she did not something wrong. Family member must given attention and should not be abandoned. Familism, a cultural value that emphasizes strong family connectedness, has been associated with warm parenting behaviors among fathers and may moderate the effects of stress on parenting. So that's all. That's the end of my topic, and the next reporter will continue to discuss more Filipino values. Thank you.
Good day, ma'am. I'm Saint Pepe Duchidaro from Section Bravo. I'm here to report our assigned topic entitled Filipino Values. The other Filipino values are, first, fun-loving trait, a trait found in most Filipinos, a trait that can make them unique, that even in time of calamities and other challenges in life, they always have something to be happy about, a reason to celebrate. Ano siya guys nga bisan daghan taw gidada nga problema naa patay time nga magpakatawa, mukatawa, maghimog jokes, memes ug unsa pa. The hospitality, a Filipino trait of being receptive and generous to guests. This is because of their sense of pakikipagkapwa-tao and hiya. They want you to get the best experience when they host you. They want to show their best all the time. We Filipinos want our guests to know that they can trust us because we want the best for them, as we want the best for ourselves too. We serve not because we get paid, but because we want to give and add value. So atong counter my best in host. Why nganong ngana siya guys kay bisan unsa pay may tabo, we do our best for our guests para na sila reason nga mobalik sila og travel balik sila bakasyon dire sa atuang lugar or sa atuang country. Passionate, a Filipino trait of being sympathetic to other, even if the person is a stranger. An example of this is giving alms to beggar. This is observed when we hear Filipinos saying, kawawa naman or nakakaawa naman. Kita daw guys, mga Filipinos kay dali rama, luoy o manggiluyon. Then, sa mga tao nga nagnanglan og tabang or nagkalisod, then we extend our hands for them. We give financial support, moral support, and regionalism. A Filipino trait of giving more priority or preferences, giving favors to his province mate before others. Muna siya guys, ang example lang ni guys kanang mo bakasyon ka sa kalugar, then makaibaw lang ka nga na akay kabayan. Then, na something mga siya favor or mga needs bitaw. Mo dyan na yun nahon ni mo og damay kay kabayan gud ani mo.
Good day everyone. To discuss about my report. First, religious. Most Filipinos passes a strong compromise of their religious belief in action and word. 2. Respect to elders, a Filipino trait of a being courteous both in word and in action to the people of older people. 3. Remedial attitude. A Filipino trait of being creative and successful. The ability do things that are next to impossible. For example, in fixing appliance that look impossible to repair.
Good day, ma'am. My name is Jitroy L. Galula, a part of Group 2 Reporting, and this is my topic. Hospitality, a welcome attitude, diba? Naman tayo na bukas loob ng pagtatanggap. Filipinos open their hearts to complete strangers and offer them to the best their homes. Like, hospitality attitudes. Tao po, tuloy po, di ba naman tayo nana? There anybody home? Invites a down-to-earth encounter between a stranger and a host. Process of welcoming one's sense of being. I am a person who knocks and wishes to treated as a person. Tao po ako. Or like that, the host or hosters who welcome is also a person. Tao rin ako, tuloy po. Pwede bang makisukob? May I take it over? Like, denote sharing something is a conscious word packaging of pleading and request. Oo is the high of encounter that shows as acceptance of the person is no matter what she looks like. Hilario David, culture simply rendered people's lives meaningful. It was a source of identity, of confidence and self-esteem. It allows people to understand the world and to define their places within its culture. Culture permitted communities and generations to share a common memory. Filipino are proud of being puspusang loob. O di ba naman tayo nana mapamaraan o kana kuanta if nang hilig ta mangitag pamaagi kung saon na to or resourceful and mapanuklas ingenious. Part of their being resourceful is their use of anting-anting, amulets, and charms. Filipinos knows their competence sa kilala ang kakayahan. Magpalaban bitaw. Kayang-kaya mo yan is the encouraging praise of the Filipinos to do their best through tiyaga. In their desire for a social acceptance, Filipinos are marunong makibagay, marunong makiisa, marunong makilahok, marunong makipagpalagayang loob, marunong makipagsalamuha, marunong makipagsangkot, marunong makitungo, at marunong makisama. Okay. Filipinos are like to bamboo which symbolize flexibility, endurance, and harmonies with nature. Bahala na attitude. So, di ba naman tayo nana, di ba? Pareho po na mag-answer tao, quiz or exams, di ba? May tag, bahala na si God, nana bitaw. Bahala na attitude should not be judged as a fatalistic resignations or withdrawals from an encouragement of crisis, but because of their kababaang loob. It is manifested by their daupalad habit. There is relationship with God is their source, with their malinis at tapat na panungkulan. So that is my report, ma'am. That's my topic. Thank you.
Good day, ma'am. I am John Ernest Gomez, BS Cream for Bravo. Continuation of the report. Personalism. Personalism is the quality of being personal, especially a theory or system based in the subjective ideas or application. In personalism, it is manifested in practices such as pakiusap or request, lagay o ariglo or fixing, palakasan, use of power and influence, nepotism or favoritism. In nepotism, it is the employment of relatives to share an individual's good fortune. So, example ana is kanang mga apply ta og trabaho. Ug naa kay kapamilya nga naa ka trabaho ana. So it means sud na kaditso maka-apply na ka kay naa makay lakas. So palakasan na siya. Next is favoritism. It is the practice of giving unfair preferential treatment to one person or group at the expense of another. So sabotable naman ang favoritism. Non-rationalism. It refers to the tendency to perceive thoughts, objects, events, and persons as sacred. Animism. It is the belief that a spirit pervades in activities. Fatalism expresses the bahala na attitude, which means leaving matters as they are because nature will take us course. It is believing that life depends on suerte or buenas or good luck. Tadhana decried by fate, malas or bad luck. Bahala na is an expression that expresses the fatalistic outlook of the Filipino. It happens when one simply resigns to the consequences of life's difficulties. Sample aning is kanang mag-exam o wa kay tuon. So makayang kag bahala na. Bahala na ang Ginoo na mag-igo. Mag-answer ba ko og di? Man example bahala na. So kuan ka ba? Expressions that reflect bahala na are iginuhit ng tadhana, malas, swerte, gulong ng palad, or tsamba. Undeserved success brought about by luck. Sabotable naman na daan. In every positive way, bahala na is what makes people move, take risk, and plan for the future. So mo take risk dud ta. Bayanihan, team spirit, denotes camaraderie among the people in the community and connotes helping one another in time of need. So bayanihan. So example anang bayanihan is kanang, for example, kanang magbalhin og buy in one place to another place. So kana nga situation maka ana sad makuha na to nga makaamigo ta among the people in the community and connotes helping one another in time of needs. So tabangan na to ang mga nagkinahanglan. That's bayanihan. Utang na loob, infinite responsibility, portrays our true identity based on our concerns and response to others. O pagtanaw is the unending gratitude, but this is not enough because the responsibility to others does not end since pagpakatao has no limits, same with pakikipagkapwa-tao. Thank you, ma'am. That's all my reports.
Good day, everyone. I am Jennifer Lagamayo. My topic is all about the stages and development of Filipino value formation. 1. Pre-conditional stage, childhood. Number 2. The conventional stage, youth. 3. Post-conventional stage, adulthood. First, free conditional state childhood is the phase wherein children comply with the values of those who assert power on them, parents, teachers, nuns, and priests. 2. The conventional stage youth. It is during the conventional stage or youth, adolescents identify with their peers, idols, and teachers due to interpersonal communication. 3. Post-conventional stage, adulthood. The people internalize the values they have imbibed in the first two stages without fear. Pamantayan system, an alternative approach to Filipino value system by Landa F. Hocano. Pamantayan is the appropriate model for understanding the Filipino traditional value system. The model rightfully answers the question, why do Filipinos behave the way they do? The answer is unanimous because they observe the same pamantayan for doing this. Halaga. Halaga represents the surface level of the pamantayan system and functions as the cognitive evaluate core of the system. Asal is a primarily a behavioral concept which refers to the intrinsic quality and meaning of actions. Diwa is the spiritual core of our traditional values and the essence of our collective sentiments of psyche as a people. Family closeness and security. 1. Natural dependence and mutual sharing among family members, financially and emotionally. 2. Filipinos have an extended family structure where married sons and daughters remain under the roof of their parents for protection. Ang kasagaran ko sa mga Filipino is while mahuman sila og kanang kasal, nag-remain pagyapon sila sa ilang mga parents po for protection kuno nila. Close-knit phenomenon is a binding elements as the threads of society are rewoven by giving attention on what the individual experiences in his her or her capacity as a member of the community. Social acceptance refers to the way of life of Filipinos to be recognized or acknowledged by their fellow men and social groups. Pakikisama is yielding to the will of the majority or the leader which could result to both to positive and negative behavior. It refers to one's efforts to get along with everybody. Euphemism, stating an unpleasant truth, opinion, or request as pleasantly as possible. In order not to offend others, direct harsh and brutal words must be avoided. Middleman is issued when a person needs his or her promotion or appointment papers signed, when following up documents, or when it need of certifications. Pakikiramdam, a value affecting the team's spirit. Personalism emphasizes the importance of the persons with whom one has immediate face-to-face contact over the abstract rule of law and common good. Thank you for watching. That's all.
Ma'am, I am Gerson B. Libot. Continuation report of Group 2. Traits reflect people's characteristics, patterns of thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. It implies consistency and stability. Someone who scores high on a specific trait like extraversion is expected to be sociable in different situations and over time. Thus, trait psychology rests on idea that people differ from one another in terms of where they stand on a set of basic trait dimensions that persist over time and across situations. There are 4 examples of traits. First is loyalty, second leadership, third bravery, and the fourth is unselfish. First, loyalty. Loyalty will greatly improve your friendships and all the other relationships in your life, whether personal or professional. In being loyal, you are attracting loyalty, which means more reliable friends, more meaningful relationships, and more productive work relationships. So, og loyal ka, daghan kag mga amigo, o labi loyal ka sa imong uyab, nga na nindot ning loyal ka nga pagkatao. And the second is leadership. Leadership is about taking risks and challenging the status quo. Leaders motivate others to achieve something new and better. And the third is bravery. On a physical level, bravery allows us to overcome fears such as swimming or playing a sport. And on a moral level, doing what we know to be right despite the risk gives us the sense that we are acting on behalf of a larger purpose. On a group level, bravery is inspiring and contagious. And the last one is unselfish. Being selfless helps us identify and connect with others, and that in and of itself is rewarding. It helps squash our egos because we are not acting out of pride or for a desire to be noticed. Selflessness helps us act from our heart and soul instead of our ego tapping into our true desires feelings. That's all, ma'am, and thank you.
Good morning, ma'am. We are going to report the part of the topic they give us about the values, traits, practice, and tradition of Filipinos. There are 3 topics given: the values, traits, practice, and tradition of the Filipinos, and I will going to first reporting about the values. What is values? Are individual beliefs that motivate people to act one way or another. They serve as a guide for a human behavior. Generally, people are predisposed to adopt the values that they are raised with. The people also tend to believe that those values are rights. because they are the values of their particular culture. And there are 7 values that I will report and explain what they are. First, honest. Honest is considered the best policy we have. However, it is not very easy to follow the develop. Anyone can develop it with practice and time. There are several elements why honest is important without honest. No one can make a relationship between teacher, family, friends, etc. In any situation, reliable, honest, build trust in any relationship. No one can read a person's mind unless they realize that the person is honest. Honesty is a good habit that gives happiness and peaceful mind to everyone. People do not allow any relationship to develop and create many problems. It includes straightforwardness of behavior, including the absence of lying, cheating, etc. Honest may also involve being trustworthy, honest, fair, and sincere. Second, mood. Mood is considered a character trait that allow a person to fit into an environment without acting undue attitude. And principle is considered attracting attention to one's own person by action or word, including it for case as inappropriate behavior. Third, freedom. Freedom is when people is capable of doing free things. Freedom is when nothing controlling us from what we are going to do free. Well, just useless if we don't have any freedom at all. Fourth, trust. Trust is belief in a probability that a person will behave in certain ways. Trust in abstract mental attitude that towards proposition that someone is dependable. Trust is a feeling that confidence and security that a partner cares. Fifth, team spirit. Uncuttable non-team spirit is feeling of pride and loyalty that exists among the members of what team and that makes them what their team to do well or to be the best. Example, going above the beyond what is required to help colleagues. 6. Responsibility. Responsibility refers to an obligation to perform certain function in order to achieve the result, and following are the main characters of features of responsibility organization can assign. Responsibility that human beings only and not to on any non-living objects like machine, equipment, and so on. Boldness. Boldness or the courage and brave. It is a willingness to take risks and act and a relative confidence of courage. That the boldness is independence that characterize his or her leadership, the quality of having a strong and clear appearance.
Good day everyone, especially to you ma'am. I am Elmer Jello Magalona, Bachelor of Science in Criminology, Section B. Today, I will report about the topic of practice and traditions of Filipinos. There are lots of practice and traditions of Filipinos that are still existing up to this day. One example is bayanihan. Bayanihan is a practice where Filipinos help each other in chores. One common example is when a kubo or a hut is transferred into another place. Filipinos are known of being helpful, especially in times of need. ang bayanihan manggod di ra kay mabuhat tungod sa pagbalhin og sa kakubo, pero ang bayanihan as daghan og example ang ato mahimo sa in terms of bayanihan. Ang bayanihan manggod anang gisulti pareha ng kanang bahay nga ibalhin tungod kay ang lugar is kuana kanang ay danger zone. For example, dool mo landslide, ilang bahay na tukod sa daplig sapa. So ana ma-apply ang pag-arsa or pabayanihan katungod kay arsahon ang bahay ibalhin sa mas safety nga lugar. Pero dili nagpasabot nga ang pag-arsa ra sa bahay or pag-arsa sa kubo ra maoy matawag na tuog bayanihan. Daghang pamaagi, daghang example nga matawag na tuog bayanihan. For example, atong time sa bagyo, daghan mga tao nga nagtinabangay, daghang mga Filipino nga nagtinabangay nga matabangan tong mga apektado nga lugar, especially paraan ng naay pag road clearing. Wala na gahuwat og government nga mo trabaho, ang mga tao nga naduol sa lugar nagtinabangay nga mahinlo ang karsada, mahinlo ang mga kahoy nga nagatang sa karsada, mga yuta. So ingana pud na mga nga pamaagi nga matawag na to og bayanihan. There is also a Filipino practice called harana. It is when a guy serenade a girl as a sort of courting. Sa unang panahon, kaning harana is very known jud ni, gamit jud ni sa una sa mga ulitaw, ma-apply jud ni nila nga kaning harana kay mao pa man ni ang naandan kanang manguyab through harana, mo adto sa kabay sa bae, magdalag gitar, magkanta sa gawas. So mao ni ang isa nga practice sa unang panahon, pero karon nga panahon murag tungod sa anam-anam na ta og ka-evolve, dili na kayo magamit, dili na kayo ma-practice sa mga ulitaw kay dali naman ron na may through chat, through text, through calls. Pero sa unang panahon kani nga practice nga mao ni ang gina-apply gi-apply sa mga ulitaw. Aside from two mentioned, there is also pagmamano as a sign of respect, pamanhikan, paninilbihan, and saying tabi-tabi po. Kaning pagmamano mao ning practice nga hantud karon gi-apply gihapon sa mga bata, pero dili sa mga bata bisan sa mga dagko gi-apply gihapon ni karon tungod kay man nagpakita og respeto sa mga katiguangan, sa mga maguwang panato. Kung muli ta moamin, moabot sa bay, moamin, kung makita og mga magkamit sa into ang mga relatives nga mga maguwang panato, moamin. Sana nga tradisyon na pakita nato mga Filipinos nga nag-show ta og respect sa usa ka tawo. Pamamanhikan morning term nga mga tubang ang ang sa kalaki sa bae, mga tubang ang pamilya sa laki sa pamilya sa bae. Ang kasagaran ani kay magdaog mga pagkaon, magdaog uban kay magdaog mga known nga tao nga para ubanon sa pangatubang. Man ang Filipino term sa pamamanhikan, pangatubang. Ang kani nga practice is gi-apply gyapon karon, ilabi na sa katong padung o kanang padung kaslon. So mga tubang sila before na sila kaslon. That's all. Thank you.